What if the very things you hide, the flaws, the doubts, the messy parts of your story, are actually the keys to a more joyful, authentic life? What if perfection isn't the goal, but the barrier? In the Gifts of Imperfection, Brené Brown invites us into a deeply personal and transformative journey where the pursuit of good enough becomes the gateway to living wholeheartedly. This is not a book about fixing yourself. It's about embracing yourself exactly as you are. The journey begins with a simple but powerful idea. Most of us spend our lives trying to earn worthiness. We believe that if we can just be perfect enough, successful enough, attractive enough, productive enough, then we will finally feel like we belong. But Brown flips this belief on its head. Through her research on shame, vulnerability, and human connection, she reveals that people who live the most fulfilling lives aren't the ones who have it all together. They are the ones who have learned to accept themselves as they are, imperfections and all. She introduces the concept of wholehearted living, which becomes the central thread of the book. Wholehearted people engage with the world from a place of worthiness. They don't wait to be perfect before they show up. They show up because they believe they are already enough. This mindset shift is profound because it replaces the exhausting chase for perfection with a grounded sense of self-acceptance. As the book unfolds, Brown presents what she calls guideposts for cultivating wholeheartedness. Each guidepost is essentially a practice, a way of being, that helps us move away from fear and toward authenticity. One of the first and most important is letting go of what people think. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or arrogant, but rather recognizing how much energy we waste trying to fit into expectations that were never truly ours. When we stop performing for approval, we begin to discover who we really are. Another major idea revolves around perfectionism. Brown carefully distinguishes perfectionism from healthy striving. Perfectionism, she explains, is not about self-improvement. It is about earning approval and avoiding shame. It is driven by the fear of being judged, rejected, or seen as inadequate. Healthy striving, on the other hand, comes from a place of self-love. It's about growing because you care about yourself, not because you're trying to prove your worth. This distinction is crucial because many people wear perfectionism as a badge of honor, not realizing how much it actually holds them back. The conversation then shifts to vulnerability, which Brown describes as the birthplace of love, belonging, and creativity. This is perhaps one of the most counterintuitive lessons in the book. Most of us associate vulnerability with weakness, but Brown argues that it is actually a source of strength. To be vulnerable is to show up and be seen, even when there are no guarantees. It means expressing your true thoughts, admitting your fears, and allowing yourself to be imperfect in front of others. Without vulnerability, real connection is impossible. Closely tied to vulnerability is the idea of shame resilience. Brown explains that shame thrives in secrecy, silence, and judgment. The more we hide our struggles, the more power shame has over us. But when we talk about our experiences with people we trust, we begin to dismantle that power. Developing shame resilience means recognizing when we are feeling shame, understanding its triggers, and reaching out instead of retreating. It's about replacing self-criticism with self-compassion. Speaking of self-compassion, this becomes another key theme. Many of us are incredibly harsh with ourselves in ways we would never be with others. Brown encourages readers to treat themselves with the same kindness and understanding they would offer a friend. Self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook. It's about acknowledging that you are human and deserving of care, even when you make mistakes. As the narrative progresses, Brown explores the importance of authenticity. Living authentically means letting go of who you think you're supposed to be and embracing who you are. This is easier said than done because it often involves disappointing others or stepping outside of familiar roles. But authenticity is essential for a meaningful life because it aligns your actions with your values. Another guidepost focuses on cultivating gratitude and joy. Brown emphasizes that joy is not something we can force or manufacture. It arises when we are present and appreciative of what we have. Interestingly, she notes that joy can also be terrifying because it makes us feel vulnerable. When things are going well, we sometimes brace ourselves for something to go wrong. Learning to lean into joy without immediately expecting disaster is part of living wholeheartedly. Creativity also plays a significant role in the book. Brown argues that everyone is creative, not just artists or musicians. Creativity is about self-expression and making something that reflects who you are. When we suppress our creativity out of fear of judgment, we also suppress a vital part of ourselves. Reconnecting with creativity is a way of reclaiming that lost part. The book also touches on the importance of play and rest, which are often undervalued in a productivity-driven culture. Brown highlights how constant busyness can be a form of numbing, a way to avoid dealing with deeper emotions. Making time for play and rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity for emotional well-being. Calmness and stillness are also explored as antidotes to anxiety and overwhelm. In a world filled with noise and constant stimulation, finding moments of quiet can help us reconnect with ourselves. This might involve practices like mindfulness, meditation, or simply unplugging from technology. As Brown continues to build on these ideas, she returns again and again to the theme of connection. Humans are wired for connection, and our sense of belonging is deeply tied to our willingness to be seen. When we hide our true selves, we may gain approval, but we lose genuine connection. True belonging comes from being accepted for who we are, not who we pretend to be. Throughout the book, Brown uses stories and research to make these concepts relatable and actionable. She doesn't present herself as someone who has mastered all of these practices. Instead, she shares her own struggles and insights. This makes the message feel more authentic and achievable. By the time the book reaches its conclusion, the message is clear. The path to a meaningful life is not about becoming perfect, but about embracing imperfection. It's about showing up, being real, and allowing yourself to be seen. It's about choosing courage over comfort, connection over control, and authenticity over approval. In the end, The Gifts of Imperfection is not just a book, it's an invitation. An invitation to let go of the exhausting pursuit of perfection and to step into a life that is messy, imperfect, and beautifully real. It reminds us that our imperfections are not flaws to be fixed, but gifts to be embraced. And perhaps the greatest gift of all is the realization that we are already enough, just as we are.